Hi folks, this is Sandy from Creative Chaos. I just thought I'd pop in and do a quick catch-up video. I've been away for a while. This is my second attempt at this because my first one that I recorded, 40 minutes long, and there was no sound. How about that? So I just thought I'd pop back in. I've got a couple of videos in the hopper, two or three haul videos, and yeah, so everything in my little corner paradise is going pretty good. I've been fairly busy, although if you would ask me what I fill my days with, I'm not sure I could tell you. We've been doing some purging. I think I say that every time I get on here. I'm doing some purging, getting rid of some stuff, and I've really gotten rid of a lot of stuff, but I still have so much. I'm not talking about art stuff here. I'm talking about day-to-day stuff. And we're also in the process of organizing some work that we want to have done on our house, which will be fairly major. I am going to buy some new furniture, and I'm going to get my kitchen redone. And then we have some repairs and painting that also needs to be done, carpets that need to be replaced, and blinds that need to be replaced. So quite a large endeavor, which we're just trying to figure out how we're going to do it and when we're going to do it. So that's one thing. Weather here on the coast has not been great. It was really, really hot a couple of days. And then it just got so darn cold. Like this morning and yesterday, it was really quite cool. We're looking at probably getting some rain today. So hopefully that'll get rid of the bad weather and bring back some nice weather. Although it doesn't need to be really, really hot. I've been working in my garden and my backyard, rather, not my garden so much. And I've got that pretty much taken care of. I still have a big flower bed in the front that I have to weed, which is very overgrown. So I'll have to start working on that probably this week. I was kind of out of commission for a while because I fell in the backyard about 3 weeks ago. My daughter was out there power washing the patio, and I was working around in the garden and lost my balance. And because of my arthritis, my knees are not as flexible as they used to be. And basically, I just couldn't right myself. And down I went on my butt. Didn't think I'd hurt myself at the time, but I was pretty sore the next couple of days, so I didn't go very far or move very much for about a week. My arthritis is identified as moderate. And if mine's moderate, I'd sure as heck hate to see what somebody who's got really bad arthritis goes through. Not to whine about how I'm feeling, because really it's not a huge problem compared to what many other people have to deal with. But anyway, with my arthritis, I have to portion out the tasks that I'm going to do so that I can, I do half an hour here, half an hour there. So the things that I used to go out and work for 3 or 4 hours on, I can't do anymore. But that's okay. That's not a bad thing. So yeah, so that's done. My backyard looks good. I replaced my fountain. I got a new fountain. Except my darn old fountain, it's brand new and it's not putting out much water. So I can't figure out what's going on there. But anyway, I'll work it out. In the art world, what have I been doing? I've been in my studio. I have been organizing. Seems an ongoing project, which it is. But I went through all of my loose. I have so much loose paper, scraps and whatever. I really want to throw it out, but I hate when it's still really usable and pretty to do that. So I had it all thrown into about 4 or 5 different boxes. So what I did was I went through and weeded it out. I didn't throw very much out. Put it into 3 different categories. There's the stuff that has images on it, the stuff that's colored. When I say images, I mean there's some stuff in here that has images on it, but basically I have one stack of the solid colors light and solid colors dark. because I realized how much usable paper scraps, like big paper scraps I had that I could be using for die cutting or whatever. So I sorted that out, and so now I think I'm going to be able to better use it. So I've been doing that. Was busy finishing up all the cards that I sent to the island. She's very happy with them. So I'm just kind of waiting to see if she's going to want more or not. I'm also going to be starting in the next, what's this, reading in June? Well, probably the end of July, starting on my Christmas cards, because I think this lady's going to want some Christmas cards. And if things open back up again, then the hospital gift shop is probably going to be looking for a product. And typically the Christmas cards do well, so I will be doing a big push on making Christmas cards, and I'm kind of hoping that I can do 150, 200. I normally do maybe 40 or 50, but again, I have to really get at it and get organized. And this year I will be using up quite a few of my cut aparts and whatever, as well as stamping, but I find they make up really well, and for the one source that I send them to, it works out fine to do that. They're still very pretty. They're just not all necessarily stamped. So that's the upcoming project. With reference to 100 days, I got far behind and kind of mad at myself, but I thought, no, I'm not going to beat myself up about this. I'm getting as far as 50. I'll do up to 50 and I'm almost there, and call it a day and consider that successful. I'm not going to beat myself up about not finishing it, because that's way more than I've ever done before. So that's a good thing. I'm participating in the ATC a day swap for June. The Art Joy of Sharing group is running this swap, and it's fun. At ATC, I like making them. They're easy to make. So I'm participating in that. I haven't posted anything yet, but I am participating in it. As well, did decide to play in iCAD a day. Again, haven't posted anything there yet, but will be. What else am I doing? I've got a little bit of notes here. I think what I'm going to do with my iCADs, I'm not sure, but I think what I might do with my iCADs is make a little journal and put them in there. The same with did I say my iCADs? My iCADs, that's what I meant, iCADs. With my iCADs, I think I'm going to put them in a journal, like, make a little journal and put them on the pages. And then they're kind of there that I can look at them and enjoy them, as opposed to stuck in a drawer somewhere. For my ATCs, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. Might do the same thing, actually. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to playing in that. I have just bought a whole bunch. When I say a whole bunch, I'm talking about a quantity, not particularly a lot of money, I don't think, of stuff to use. I bought it from AliExpress, and it's all, I just did 2 videos on it. It's all smaller ephemera and junk journal stuff. So I can clearly use that on most of the things I'm going to be working on in the future. I was just bored with what I had, basically, and at the end of the day, I may just do a whole bunch of stuff of Happy Mail and send out some of the die cuts that I have that I'm spoiled, that I'm bored with, and just send them out to people and let somebody else enjoy them, because I'm sure someone else will. So that's about it. I'm starting a walking program. It's not going to be a big one, probably 20 minutes a day to start, depending on how my knees hold up. With the weather being so, I want to say ambivalent, I'm not sure that's what I mean. It's irregular because it's jumping around all over the place. It's cold one day, warm another. That really plays havoc with my arthritis. And so every time the weather changes, I get sore. So I'm really hoping that settles down one way or the other pretty soon. But I'm going to try to walk because I know I need to. My dad had arthritis really, really bad. He lived into it until he was 90. But I mean, he had it really bad. And he always told me that the only way he kept his mobility up until his late 80s, I guess, until he was about 87 or 88 was by going out and walking. And he'd go out with his canes and walk. And he'd walk like, I don't know, an hour a day or whatever. So the plan is that I'm going to try. My doctor suggested I set my timer for 10 minutes, walk as far as I can get in 10 minutes, and then turn around and come home, which would be a 20-minute day. And he said that's more than sufficient. So we're going to start with that. We'll see how that goes. The other kind of interesting thing that I've done, which may or may not interest anybody, is I have made a bit of a lifestyle change. My weight has always been a problem. When I was young, when I was 7 or 8, I was just a little stick person. I was skinny as a rail. But when I got into my teens, that was a difficult time for me, and I put on a lot of weight over several years, and I've been heavy ever since. Pleasingly plump, I believe, is a polite acting. Anyway, I've been on weight loss programs for years, off and on, and never really lost anything more than about 5 pounds. The only exception was in 1992, I joined Nutrisystem and I lost 45 pounds, which stayed off for about 2 minutes. And then it came all back again. So anyway, the lifestyle change that I've made is I've started intermittent fasting. Now, I was very skeptical about it. It is a lifestyle change. It's not a diet. The principle, for those who don't know about it, is the principle is that there's a couple of things. There's a couple of ways to approach it. Some people will approach it by going totally keto, low carb, real hardcore. Other people say that they continue to eat what they've always eaten. They tend over time to eat better, as in more healthy. But at the end of the day, they don't view it as a diet. They view it as a lifestyle change. So with intermittent fasting, what you do is you choose your eating schedule. You can go from, I think it starts at, can't even remember, isn't that silly? It starts at, you can fast for 10 hours and have your eating window be 14 hours. And then it goes up an hour a day, so that you would typically you might do 16 hours of fasting and an 8-hour window to eat. And you would eat 2 or 3 meals, whatever you want, and snacks. I started out with the 16-8, but I've kind of migrated back to 14-10. I find that a little easier to manage, and I usually stop eating at 9 at night, and my eating window starts again at 11 in the morning. Now, one of the reasons that I went to this lifestyle change is it's not that different from the way I was eating from the eating schedule that I was doing anyway. Many, many times I would not get up until noon or later because of my sleeping issues. So I wasn't eating first thing in the morning. I wasn't having to go to work and, get your food in there to give you some energy. So the majority of the time that I'm fasting, probably more than 2/3 of the time that I'm fasting, I'm asleep. So it isn't really a hardship. As well, I never really ate a lunch. I always only ate a breakfast and a dinner most of the time. When I was working, yes, I ate a lunch, but I didn't eat much of a breakfast. So now that I'm retired, I have the flexibility to be able to pick and choose how I eat. So basically, what I do is I usually do the 10 and 14. So I stop eating at 9 o'clock at night, and I start eating again if I want to eat at 11 o'clock in the morning. I find it really quite easy. I find sometimes if I do the 16-8, I'm really, really hungry when I get up and I get headaches. So I just find this is easier. And I am eating healthier, but I pretty much eat whatever I want. My next thing is to be able to get a little bit of exercise. And they tell you that you should not expect to lose any weight in the first month or two. they're saying that's not to say that you won't lose any weight, but it's to say that you shouldn't expect to lose a lot of weight. That's just not how it works. Now, some people do. They drop a ton of weight. They might drop 10, 15 pounds in the first month. I have not found that to be the case for me, but again, I'm not all that strict with what I eat. So basically, what intermittent fasting does is it helps reset your body. There's a long technical or medical explanation, but basically, when you are eating all day long, your body never gets a chance to go into repair mode. And this is the theory behind it. And so what ends up happening is you will have elevated insulin levels. Your body will constantly be craving sugar because you're eating all day long, etc., etc., etc. So anyway, I've been on it 2 months. I have lost not quite 6 pounds. I am down about 13 inches on all of my measurements in my body. They say that what everybody says is don't listen to the scale. The scale does not reflect what's going on in your body. And you will see pictures of people who, like, the change is amazing. Their body just resets itself and it deals with the fat that you're carrying around. Because what happens is when you limit your eating period, typically what happens is you also limit how much you eat because you're not eating 24 hours a day. So you reduce your food intake. I have increased my water intake probably 300%. I never ever drank water, ever. Now I have at least 3 or 4 glasses of water a day, in addition to all the other stuff that I drink, coffee and Diet Pop, whatever. So that's better. I'm sleeping well. That's been an ongoing process for me, which I think I mentioned before. I've had problems with insomnia or whatever, but one of the side effects is that you tend to sleep better. And your body just goes into this process of healing itself. I'm really enjoying it. And like I said, I am watching. I've been on lots of other diets, but I always find I sabotage myself. Because when it gets going too good, then I get cravings. I don't have cravings with this. When I was having my sleep issues, which I still have to a minor degree, but when I was having my sleep issues, I would get up in the middle of the night because I couldn't sleep. I'd lie in bed for 2-3 hours. And then I'd get up and I'd start eating. And, I'd get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd watch TV till 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever. Snack the whole time. Go back to bed, sleep till noon or 1 o'clock, get up and start the whole process over again. So at some point, my days and nights, I guess, got turned around. But I was always having cravings. I don't have cravings for the most part now. I don't crave sugar. I don't crave sweets the way that I did before. I don't get up at night and eat. Like when I close my eating window, I close my eating window and that's it. Whereas before I would watch TV, I'd snack till whenever I went to bed, which, from the time I got up from the supper table till I went to bed, it was snack city. I'm not doing that anymore. So I think it's some really positive changes. I have a goal in mind, and my goal was that I'd lose 30 pounds. I'm not really there yet, but that's fine. I'm not in any big rush. I didn't put this weight on overnight, and I'm sure as hell not going to take it off overnight. There is a book out, actually, the fellow or maybe it's a lady, who designed this, has a couple of books out. One is Fast, Feast, and Repeat. And I'm not finished the book yet. I'm partway through, and it just explains a lot of things. I can't seem to get my body to go into ketosis, at least not the way that they say it should. I bought some of those sticks to test your urine, and I don't get any results on those at all. It's really quite frustrating. But they tell you don't even to do that. So, and I don't weigh myself every day. Some people will say, weigh yourself every day. I don't weigh myself every day because the scale doesn't reflect what's going on in my body. So I usually will weigh myself maybe once or twice a month. I took pictures on on month 1, and I took pictures now on the end of month 2. I don't know, I took them on 2 different devices, so I don't know that I will notice a difference. Some people you can really see a big difference. But I'm very happy. The other thing they talk about, and I'm not sure that I've had that, although maybe I did, maybe I do, is mental clarity. That your mental clarity sharpens when you're not overdosing on sugar, which kind of makes sense, I guess. So anyway, I'm not going to ramble on about this because not everybody's interested in it, but I would, if you're having some health issues, I would really strongly encourage you to do some exploring of this. There's the what's it called? Fastic program is, you can get a free trial on, I think, for a month, and then it's very, very cheap. I don't remember what it is. It's like this dirt cheap for a year. I think it's like maybe $1 a week or something like that. They'll come and try to renew you higher, but then they always give you cheap. And then there's another program that's called Carb Magic, I think is the one I'm using. I don't know if that was free or not. And it tracks all your carbs and your proteins and your macros and whatever. And you just put your food in, and it's kind of like the Weight Watcher app where you put your food in and it pulls it from a database, based on the quantity you said you ate. And I find that is really helpful. I don't have to be keeping lists anywhere. I just go on and put in, and it tells you, okay, like my choice, when they give you the questionnaire, my choice was to lose weight slowly, because not to be on the fast track, because I knew if I was on the fast track and I couldn't eat anything, then I wouldn't stay on it. So basically, it's very carbs oriented. The fewer carbs you have, the better you will do. So I think I'm on 44 carbs a day. I don't always stick within that. I mean, I have some bad days when I eat, but I do it knowingly. Like, I do it with full knowledge, when before I didn't. I just ate, right? But you can go on and see how many carbs there are. So I think mine are 18 for the morning and 22, maybe 26, I can't remember, for the evening. And lots of foods, there's hardly any carbs in them at all. Most people probably know that. I'm not good at counting that. It's way too confusing and way too much effort. So I just use this app, and it's great. I really like it. Anyway, I'm very pleased. That's a very positive change in my life. And for me to be doing it for 2 months is big. I never last that long on anything. So intermittent fasting, if you think that might be something that you'd like to do, get online and check it out, because it is life-changing. And for me, it's been a very positive experience. On that note, I will say, I lied. I have one other thing to show you guys. And I don't know how long this, it's 23 minutes. Okay, I can do this quick. I wanted to show you the 100-day project items that I have completed since our last video. There's about 6 or 7 of them. And I don't think I've shown you these, so I will show them to you now, if I can find them. Andrew, what did you do with it? Yes, everyone. Yeah. Okay. So, sorry folks, I don't know what happened. I think I leaned on my keyboard and I kicked myself out. So we're picking up the business right now. To conclude this video, I was telling you I was going to show you my iCads for the 100-day project, not iCads, sorry, my 100-day project journal pages. I hope I haven't shown you these already. I apologize if I have. Some of them are, but whatever. We're almost at 50. This one came out quite orange compared to how I really visualized it in my head. But I really like this stamp, and I played with it till I got something that I was reasonably happy with. Really? Stuff is running away from me. Don't think I've shown you this. This is a technique I really like. I think this is with acrylic paint. It's not with watercolors, and I quite frequently use watercolors for it. But what you do is you just slap the paint on, and then you go back and doodle around the various demarcations of where the colored paint was. And you get this really interesting, almost like a map-like feel. I find it very relaxing, and you can doodle, like you can add way more doodling than I did. I basically outlined it and just did a little bit of doodling like here and here. But you can go nuts on that, draw faces, animals, Zentangles, whatever. And I find it's really, really a very relaxing process. And I enjoy doing it. I guess when I kind of get stuck, then that's when I revert to this technique. And like I said, I've done it with watercolor. I've done sort of this technique, not the same one, with a stencil and Copic markers. Just went in and colored the background, and then with Copic markers, and then put a stencil over it and traced it. And that's an interesting look as well. I'm sorry, my desk is such a mess. You would not believe it. This one, I really like the colors. I'm very prone, it's not displaying as pink as it is. Not pink, more flesh tone. Or, yeah, here is a really, yeah, there you can see a little better. Is a nice color of pink. This was just a collage I put together. I don't even know what color. I think the background was pretty much what it is. And then I just added the other elements. I don't think I did a lot of painting on it. And I'm really happy with the way it, like I like up here the blue and the beige. Yeah, I just really like it, and I was pleased with it. Don't think I've shown you this one. This one is just kind of a get it over with, get her done. Again, jelly printed, and then stenciling, a little bit of doodling, and this is just a word, a phrase stamp that I put on there and called her done. This one I like the colors on this one. This is a magazine image, I think, from probably from Art Journal magazine, or maybe from Somerset. I'm not sure, because I went through and took apart a bunch of my Somerset and whatever. I think I told you before, I tried to give them away to the library and they wouldn't take them, and I couldn't find anybody that wanted them, and I didn't really think I could sell them because they were so heavy to ship. So I took them apart, scavenged all the images and photos out of it that I liked, and tossed the rest of it. I know a lot of people make journals out of it, and at some point I might, but I just had too many of them. So I really like that, and I like the juxtaposition of the colors. This one I may have shown already, not sure. This is again just a very simple collage. These are collage sheets. These are from collage sheets that I had downloaded. This is from her name's Mary Lou. I can never remember her name, but she's on Instagram, and she does beautiful, beautiful florals and whatever. And she sells these in downloadable sets, and I really like her work, and I just wanted something very simple, but I just thought that really fit in to the to the background. I was happy with it. This one is just, I don't know if I showed you that one. Basically a napkin, that's all that is. A little bit of, it was painted blue up here, and then I touched it up a little bit. Just glued a napkin on and then put the words on here because every picture tells a story. I'm very happy with that. I don't do a lot of work with napkins, but I was very happy with that. This one is finished, pretty much. I think I might do a little bit of doodling on it to bring out some of these here. But this is basically a sheet. There were 2 sheets that I pulled out of a Somerset Studio or one of those magazines, and just was trying to make a collage. And really, this, I like this, and so this is kind of the semi-finished product. This is a tag that I had made. This was a download from Etsy. Etsy? No, I think that's a download from Mischief Circus. I had bought several of their packages, and there's probably 6 different girls. This is one of them on a big, you're not going to be able to see too well, but one much bigger, this lady in red. But you can size them, but they're really cute, and I really like her. And I had made this tag and thought it needed something, so I added her to it. And I thought, well, why can't I put that in my journal, my 100 Days project? So I did, and I really like the way it came together. And the last one is this one. This is one of my girls. She started out, I wanted to do her wonky face, but somehow she morphed into more whimsical. Enjoyed doing her, a lot of fun. I really like drawing faces, although they're certainly not realistic. But I just thought she turned out really well, and I was really happy with her. And basically, I didn't do much else other than a bit of background stamping with a text stamp and a little bit of zhuzhing the colors on the background, and that's about it. And I'm just about at the 50 mark. I'd have to recount, but I don't think I have very many more to go to be at the 50, and I'll call it a day. And then once I do that, I will do a flip of the whole book. So anybody who's interested can see what the 50 days looks like. And on that note, I will say goodbye. I thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, please give me a like, share, subscribe, and by all means, leave me a little comment. I would love to hear from you. Please come back and see me again real soon. You can also find me on Instagram at Sandra Prue 1500. And I usually post, I try to post over there a couple of times a week, although when I'm busy, it doesn't always happen. But I've got pretty good board over there. So if you're interested in seeing some of my other work, by all means, I would love for you to go over and have a visit. I hope you'll come back and see me again real soon. In the meantime, stay safe. Bye-bye.